I don't know. Angel Reese. She might have tapped out, y'all. Angel Reese may have tapped out and quit on the Chicago Sky. Everybody is speculating. What is this back injury? What's going on? Hey.
The WNBA season just took an unthinkable turn. A star player, a highly anticipated rookie, seemingly vanished overnight. Angel Reese, the fiery presence who promised to shake up the league, has reportedly tapped out, leaving the Chicago Sky in a dramatic lurch. Fans are reeling, teammates are stunned, and the whispers echo through every arena. Is this truly the end of her WNBA journey, or just the latest act in a saga of shocking self-preservation? What really happened behind the scenes is far more jaw-dropping than any game day highlight reel, and trust me, you are not ready for it. The world wants answers, but what if the truth is something no one wants to hear? For Angel Reese, this sudden departure, citing a mysterious back injury, is about as surprising as the sun rising in the east. Many saw this coming weeks ago, but now, everyone's clutching their pearls like it's the sports scandal of the century. Please, this isn't a shock. It's just Angel being Angel, fiercely committed to the spotlight, yet tragically allergic to the grind, the sweat, the actual hard work of a professional athlete. She's not here to battle for wins or dive for loose balls. She's here to strut for the cameras, rack up social media likes, and bask in the headlines. The very second it's time to put in real effort, she disappears faster than a free throw in the fourth quarter when the pressure is on.
The world wants to know. The whole world is wondering, where in the world is Batman? I'm joking. I want to know, Chicago Sky fans, women's basketball, WNBA, Angel Reese fans, where in the world?
It's almost tragically symbolic, perhaps even a bit grimly amusing, that out of all the physical ailments a basketball player could face, Angel Reese is experiencing a back injury. Her back, quite literally, is hurting. Could it be that she's finally tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her shoulders? Exhausted from trying to be that floor general, that undeniable leader? Did the Chicago Sky, in their desperate hopes, break Angel Reese's back? The Rookie of the Year debate between Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese? Let's be absolutely clear, that was never a contest. It was only close in the same fantastical way I'm close to buying a $20 million mansion, purely hypothetical, existing only in the fevered dreams of those desperate to spin a juicy clickbaiting narrative.
I find it very symbolic, very almost funny, but not funny. Not funny haha, but funny sad, that out of all the bodily injuries that Angel Reese, a player, could experience, she's experiencing a back injury. Her back is literally hurting. And is it because that she is tired of carrying the weight of the Chicago Sky on her back, being that floor general and that floor leader? Did the Chicago Sky break Angel Reese's back?
The media, always hungry for drama, kept milking it because controversy drives clicks, and a clear, dominant run by Clark simply doesn't grab eyeballs. But if we're being brutally honest, Reese's name stayed in the conversation for one reason only. She is a walking, talking, headline-generating machine. She's loud, she's flashy, she stirs the pot, and that plays incredibly well on social media. Yet, the game tape, the cold, hard stats, they weren't screaming dominance. They were politely whispering, maybe next year. Everyone is ablaze right now, wondering what is truly happening with Angel Reese. Has she flat out quit again? Has she abandoned the Chicago Sky?
Listen, everybody is ablaze right now. Everybody's wondering, what is really going on with Angel Reese? Has she just flat out quit again? Has she quit on the Chicago Sky? Angel, you gotta be, hold on, you have to have some level of self-awareness here. Last year with the Chicago Sky, you quit. You threw in the towel. Once you realized you never stood a chance, to be honest, with Caitlyn Clark for that Rookie of the Year. But once you realized your double streak was over, and it was over. She took over post-Olympic break. Once you realized it was done.
Angel, you have to possess some level of self-awareness here. Last year, you quit. You threw in the towel once you realized you had no chance to be frank against Caitlyn Clark for that Rookie of the Year title. Once your double-double streak evaporated and it was undeniably over, especially after the Olympic break, you knew it was finished. And you know who is truly to blame for this entire circus? Everyone who continually propped her up like she was the second coming of basketball greatness, just for doing the absolute bare minimum. Every commentator who acted like a double-double in garbage time was some once-in-a-generation miracle. Every fan who mistook a few flashy poses and a side-eye glance for actual leadership. You fed the hype machine until it swelled so big it practically needed its own jersey number. You transformed basic effort into a Hall of Fame moment, and now the Chicago Sky are learning the painful truth. When you hand the keys to someone who doesn't even want to drive, don't be shocked when the whole season ends up parked ignominiously in a ditch.
Yeah, she did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlyn Clark. But did we forget that Caitlyn Clark had been doing the same thing to numerous opponents throughout that season last year? That it wasn't until she was humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she dialed it back a little bit? You can't want to be the villain. You can't pride yourself in being the villain, and then you lose, and all of a sudden you succumb to those emotions. That is true to some degree. But usually when you lose and you have an opportunity to sit back and reflect, there's a mountain of emotions that get heaped on your shoulders, and it's hard to hold it in. Not to mention when teammates are coming to your defense because they realize how the insults against you have been so personal.
Yes, she absolutely wore the villain role on her sleeve. No doubt about that. She did little to help her own cause when she was celebrating the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, brazenly taunting Caitlyn Clark. But did we conveniently forget that Caitlyn Clark had been doing the exact same thing to numerous opponents throughout that very season? It wasn't until Clark was truly humbled in that national championship game against LSU that she finally dialed it back a little. You can't passionately embrace being the villain, pride yourself in it, and then the moment you lose, suddenly succumb to those raw emotions. That holds true to some extent, but typically when you face defeat and have a chance to reflect, a crushing mountain of emotions can be heaped onto your shoulders, making it incredibly difficult to contain them, not to mention when teammates step up to defend you, realizing how deeply personal the insults against you have become.
There's something that isn't. She's got a back injury. Like, I'm not going to be out here saying that Angel Reese needs to go out and play through a damn back injury. I just don't think is the case, especially when your team is as bad as it is. Like, absolutely just stinking it up constantly. Like the Chicago Sky stink.
Chicago isn't home for Angel. It's merely Maryland 2.0, just another flashy pit stop on her never-ending Look at Me tour. She's already peeking over the fence, eyeing her next LSU, a ready-made, already stacked roster where she can parachute in, graciously let the true grinders handle the sweat and bruises, and then gracefully strike a pose for the victory photos. That is her entire game plan. Skip the tedious foundation work, completely bypass the blueprints, and slide straight into a move-in ready championship house. She's not the mastermind, the diligent builder, or the powerful engine of success. She's simply the tenant who shows up after all the hard work is done, casually rearranges the furniture, and then brazenly brags about how absolutely great her new place looks, taking credit for something she had no hand in creating.
You threw in the towel, said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and said your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year and didn't play again. This past the inaugural season of Unrivaled, you didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship. No, not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. People noticing a pattern with you. That's 2 seasons in a row.
Look, she's got a back injury. No one's out here saying Angel Reese needs to heroically play through a literal back injury. That's simply not the point, especially when your team is struggling as badly as the Sky are. They are constantly inventing ways to be terrible. The Chicago Sky, frankly, screwed themselves by drafting her. They didn't just buy a single ticket to the Angel Reese show. They bought season tickets, front row for every dramatic exit, and every I'm not feeling it moment. And if Reese did indeed throw in the towel, you can bet it would take at least 4 tries for that towel to land anywhere near the court. Yes, I made myself laugh with that one. The undeniable truth is, Reese plays basketball for herself, period. Not for her teammates, not for the loyal fans, and definitely not for the franchise. She craves the attention, the lucrative endorsement deals, the high-profile interviews, the endless Instagram likes, and when things get tough, when the road gets rocky, poof, she's gone.
Listen, Angel Reese has thrown in the towel. She refuses to travel with the team. Once again, the team has a road game. We already saw she refused to travel with the team to Indiana versus the Fever. Now they head to Connecticut to take on the worst team in the league. Yes, they finally went against a team that is worse than them, the Connecticut Sun.
Caitlyn Clark is the complete, absolute opposite. You can see it in the very fabric of how Clark plays the game. She doesn't need to be the loudest person in the room because she's the one consistently hitting the shots that make the entire room explode. Meanwhile, Reese is likely over in the corner, meticulously checking if the lighting is perfect for her post-game outfit shot. One of these rookies is diligently building a career. The other is meticulously building a brand and desperately hoping nobody notices the glaring difference. You threw in the towel last year, claiming your wrist was hurting for the rest of the year. You threw in the towel and didn't play again during the inaugural season of Unrivaled. You didn't even finish that season. You didn't even show up for the championship game. Not only did you not play, you didn't even show up to the game at all. Are people starting to notice a disturbing pattern with you? That's 2 seasons in a row.
Nobody knew what had happened on the day. Nothing had happened. Then somebody got into Angel Reese's ear to say that this happened, and she then doubled and tripled down, saying that something happened even though she didn't hear it herself. And then she's there reposting tweets or reposting TikToks saying that Gamebridge is dangerous for her and it's a danger if she goes to Gamebridge and all of this crap. So Angel has done all.
And let's talk about leadership for a second. True leaders carry the profound weight of the team. They take full responsibility when things go wrong and generously share the credit when they go right. Reese, she's utterly allergic to accountability. You won't catch her saying, "Yeah, that one's on me." Instead, it's a whole lot of shrugging, a lot of side-eye as if the problem is everyone else's, never hers. And to be fair, when your entire plan is to ride coattails, you absolutely cannot admit you're the one slowing the horse down. It's no wonder she's already looking for her next exit. Chicago needs a diligent builder, someone committed to the foundation, not a permanent passenger. But Reese is a permanent passenger. She wants the comfort, the perks, the triumphant parade, but not the grueling 6 a.m. workouts or the endless film sessions that actually forge champions. And the truly terrifying part? She's still going to command more attention for quitting than half the league gets for winning. That's the disturbing upside of being a brand-first athlete. The headlines keep coming, whether you show up or not. The thing about quitting twice is that it stops being a shocking incident and starts becoming your actual resume. Angel Eels has officially entered the territory where no one is even surprised anymore. You quit on your team once? Okay, maybe there's a story there, a deeper narrative. Twice? That's simply who you are. It's not an accident. It's a deliberate lifestyle choice. She's essentially the WNBA's Houdini, the Great Disappearing Act, except without any of the mystery. The truth is, Angel Reese has thrown in the towel. She steadfastly refuses to travel with the team. Once again, the team has a crucial road game. We already saw her refusal to travel with the team to Indiana against the Fever. Now, they headed to Connecticut to take on the supposedly worst team in the league. Yes, they finally went against a team that is, on paper, worse than them, the Connecticut Sun. And here's the kicker. Even with all this swirling drama, she will still find a way to spin it as some grand act of self-care or a powerful moment of empowerment, because that's precisely what plays well on social media. She'll inevitably be on a podcast next week, eloquently talking about how she simply had to protect her peace. And there will be legions of people eating it up, completely ignoring the inconvenient fact that her peace was apparently threatened by the simple act of doing her actual job. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is out there devouring minutes like they're vital oxygen, taking punishing bumps, drawing relentless double teams, and still consistently delivering. Clark isn't looking for the next LSU. She's actively trying to build her own dynasty, brick by painstaking brick, from scratch.
Some speculation going on saying, of course, because she has injured her back, unfortunately, at the tender age of 23, might I add, that she is still going through the rehabilitation process. But people are so anxious to see just when exactly will Angel Reese return in this current 2025 season. Because again, guys, today is what, August 14th. The freaking playoffs is just some weeks away, and we all know, again, we got to have that come to Jesus moment. If you haven't had it yet, come here, come to me. We can have it together. Listen, look at me. Look me in my eyes and see that I ain't lying. We're not going into the playoffs, guys. I'm sorry.
Chicago Sky fans deserve infinitely better than a player who treats an entire season like a mere side hustle. They deserve someone who shows up when the lights are blindingly bright and when the arena is half empty. Someone who puts in the unseen work when no one is watching. And Angel Reese, she's simply not that player. She's the undisputed star of her own self-produced movie. And unfortunately, the rest of the team is just expensive set decoration. If the Sky were smart, they'd internalize this painful lesson. Stop drafting based purely on hype and start drafting based on undeniable heart. Because hype fades fast, as quickly as a TikTok trend, but heart is what genuinely wins you games in the fourth quarter. Hype gets you meaningless headlines in July. Heart gets you gleaming trophies in September. Nobody even knew what had truly happened on that particular day. Nothing, in fact, had happened. Then, mysteriously, someone got into Angel Reese's ear to whisper that this had occurred, and she then doubled and even tripled down, vehemently claiming something had happened, even though she hadn't heard it herself. And then, there she was, reposting tweets, reposting TikToks, emphatically declaring that Gamebridge is dangerous for her, and that it's a palpable danger if she goes to Gamebridge, and all this unverified nonsense. Angel has done all of this. The sad part is, Reese genuinely possesses the talent. She's not some random player plucked off the street. She has undeniable skills, formidable size, and the raw potential to utterly dominate. But talent without effort is like a sleek, expensive sports car without any gas. It looks absolutely great sitting in the driveway. It doesn't, however, go anywhere. She's far more interested in being seen driving it than actually winning the race.
We did a show early in the week about Jason Whitlock talking about she quit on the Chicago Sky. She gave up on the WNBA. She really don't want to play basketball. And this is all surrounding around her back injury.
So, no, I am absolutely not shocked she quit again. This isn't news. It's merely from him. Angel Reese doesn't want to play ball. She wants to be famous. If she ever does find her next LSU, I sincerely hope that team knows precisely what they are getting into, because history conclusively says she'll smile broadly for the cameras, ride the wave effortlessly when things are good, and then vanish into thin air the second the tide inevitably turns. That's the quintessential Angel Reese experience. No refunds, no exchanges, and absolutely no championships guaranteed. Angel Reese has been expertly playing this game, and I don't mean basketball, for a very long time. The "I'm here for the fame, not the grind" routine is practically her signature move. Forget the Euro step. Forget the no-look pass. Her true highlight play is the vanishing act right when her team needs her the most. And yet, people continue to act like she's some misunderstood star, just patiently waiting for the right moment to shine. Newsflash, this is the right moment, and she's walking away from it again. There's some speculation swirling, of course, because she has injured her back, unfortunately, at the tender age of 23. I might add, people are anxiously awaiting just when exactly Angel will return in this current 2025 season, because again, guys, today is what? August 4th. The freaking playoffs are just weeks away, and we all know, again, we have to have that come to Jesus moment. If you haven't had it yet, come here, come to me, we can have it together. Listen, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. In my eyes and see that I ain't lying. We're not going to the playoffs, guys. I'm sorry. This is precisely what happens when you prioritize building a player's brand before you've even bothered to build their resume. From day one, Reese was treated like a cultural phenomenon rather than a developing rookie athlete. Every time she scored, it was plastered all over social media with flashy graphics and trending hashtags. Meanwhile, the actual numbers told a much quieter, less dramatic story. But the hype machine doesn't care about context, it cares about clicks, and Angel delivered those by the truckload. It's not that she's incapable of playing at a high level, it's that she's fundamentally unwilling to do it when it requires sustained, consistent effort.
Oh, the grace from the basketball gods and goddesses that we cannot beat the Connecticut Sun. Do you know the Connecticut Sun is ranked number 13 in the WNBA league? There's 13 teams. They're ranked dead last. Whereas we, the Chicago Sky, we're ranked number 11. Now, granted, yes, this happened at their court today, okay? It was the Connecticut Sun's home game. That's no excuse. And
The Rookie of the Year race between Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese was never close. I'll say it again because apparently it needs repeating. It was only close on paper because the media desperately needed drama. Clark is out there putting up historic numbers, demonstrably carrying a team, and elevating everyone around her. Reese, she's out there meticulously curating an Instagram feed. The work ethic gap between the two is so vast, it could effectively swallow half the league. You don't even have to be a diehard fan to witness it. Just watch one game. Clark runs the floor like every single possession is her last. She takes charges. She dives fearlessly for loose balls. She fights relentlessly through screens. Reese, she jogs through plays like she's pacing herself for a fashion show walk-off. And when the game starts slipping away, when the chips are down, Clark digs in. Reese checks out. We did a show earlier in the week about Jason Whitlock talking about her quitting on the Chicago Sky, giving up on the WNBA, and how she doesn't truly want to play basketball, and this is all swirling around her alleged back injury. Chicago Sky fans bought into the hype because they were sold the tantalizing idea that Reese was going to be a franchise cornerstone, the very foundation of their future, but instead of a foundation, they got a billboard. Flashy, undeniably eye-catching, but not actually holding anything up, providing no structural support whatsoever. You simply cannot build around someone whose commitment has a half-life shorter than a TikTok trend. And here's where it gets truly painful. Chicago isn't LSU. They don't possess the same talent cushion. At LSU, Reese could comfortably ride the wave because she was surrounded by elite players who could effortlessly carry the load. In the WNBA, every single team is stacked with elite professional talent. And if you're not pulling your weight, if you're not consistently contributing, it shows instantly and dramatically. The Sky didn't need a passenger, they desperately needed a driver, someone to lead the charge. They drafted someone who, it turns out, only wanted to be chauffeured around.
Tyler Marsh gives a major update surrounding around Angel Reese's back injury, and you guys are not going to believe what he said.
I said weeks ago, she was going to quit. It wasn't clairvoyance. It was painfully obvious pattern recognition. She's been looking for an exit since the moment the season stopped being exclusively about her, and now she's making that exit again, while her dedicated teammates are left holding the bag, grappling with the consequences. And let's be absolutely clear, this isn't just about winning or losing. This is fundamentally about respect for the game itself. If you truly love basketball, you show up, regardless of whether you're up by 20 or humiliatingly down by 30, you fight valiantly through slumps. You push relentlessly through bad shooting nights. You bravely take the criticism, absorb it, and you come back stronger, more determined. You do not ghost your team when things get tough. That's not leadership. That's naked self-preservation, cunningly disguised as empowerment. We needed all the grace from the basketball gods and goddesses, yet we still couldn't beat the Connecticut Sun. Do you know the Connecticut Sun is ranked number 13 in the WNBA league? There are only 13 teams. They're ranked dead last, whereas we, the Chicago Sky, we're ranked number 11. Now granted, yes, this abysmal defeat happened at their court today, a Connecticut Sun home game, but that unequivocally is no excuse. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark is the living embodiment of showing up consistently. She doesn't coast on a manufactured reputation. She earns it, painstakingly, every single game. And that's precisely why, no matter how many contrived debates the media desperately tries to manufacture, Clark is already pulling ahead in ways that cannot be measured in mere stat sheets alone. She's building invaluable trust, she's proving her inherent worth, and she's making it utterly impossible to question her unwavering commitment.
It's Angel Reese, okay? Of course she was missing in last night's game, where we ultimately, the Chicago Sky, we got defeated by the Connecticut Sun, the worst ranked team in the league currently. They're the worst ranked team. And on top of that, we see 3 ejections. And on top of those 3 ejections made from the game, we see Angel Reese on Twitter, cackling and kikiing and giggling, talking about if I was there on the court and God just be knowing, you know, not to put me in certain situations. I'm like, okay, but girl, sister girl, Miss Thing, where is you at?
If Reese truly believes she can keep bouncing from team to team until she miraculously stumbles upon another LSU situation, she is in for a rude, harsh awakening. The Sky made their bed when they drafted her, swayed by the siren song of her brand, and now they're lying in it. And it's about as comfortable as trying to sleep on a forgotten pile of game day towels that somehow never made it to the laundry. They wanted a star. They got a never-ending soap opera. And the truly tragic part? This was entirely preventable. All the glaring warning signs were there, for anyone willing to see them. She's not quitting because she's legitimately burned out from heroically carrying the team. She's quitting because she's simply tired of not being the undisputed center of the entire universe. If the cameras aren't exclusively on her, the interest simply evaporates. And that's perfectly fine if you're a reality TV star. But in professional sports, genuine attention follows performance, not the other way around. Tyler Marsh recently gave a major update surrounding Angel Reese's back injury, and you guys are not going to believe what he said. Some people will still adamantly defend her, claiming she's just figuring things out, or that she's still young. Sure, she's young, so is Clark. The crucial difference? Clark is figuring out how to win games, how to truly elevate a team, not how to win hollow headlines. At some critical point, youth stops being a convenient excuse and starts being a flimsy cover for deeply ingrained bad habits. And the towel joke? I absolutely stand by it. If Reese threw in the towel, it would take at least 4 tries for it to land anywhere near the court. Because just like her commitment, her aim is frustratingly inconsistent. She's a brand ambassador masquerading as a basketball player. And every single quitting episode just tragically reinforces that.
Trash. She refused to travel with the team to Connecticut, obviously showing a complete lack of leadership. Man. Caitlyn Clark's been hurt. She traveling with the team, supporting on the bench. You're supposed to be there with your troops. You're supposed to be there with your troops, cheering them on. Feet, you know what I'm saying? Giving them that energy from the bench, from the sideline, whatever. She not even traveling with the team, y'all.
Chicago deserves players who truly bleed for the team, who take immense pride in wearing that jersey, who treat every single possession like it matters more than life itself. Change requires profound work, real effort, and work, regrettably, isn't part of her current game plan. She's far too comfortable playing the carefully crafted role of the misunderstood star, the perennial victim of unfair expectations, the rebellious figure who bravely walks away on her own terms. The bitter irony is, she has the raw potential to be truly great. She could silence every single critic by locking in, grinding, and unequivocally proving she's more than just the drama, more than the manufactured controversy. But greatness demands profound sacrifice. And right now, the only thing she's consistently willing to sacrifice is practice time. It's Angel Reese? Of course, she was conspicuously missing in last night's game, and we, the Chicago Sky, were ultimately defeated by the Connecticut Sun, the worst-ranked team in the league, currently dead last. And on top of that, we witnessed 3 ejections in the game. And on top of those 3 ejections, we see Angel Reese on Twitter, castling and keying and giggling, casually talking about, "If I was there on the court, God just knows to put me in certain situations." And I'm like, okay, but girl, sister girl, miss thing, where are you exactly? Where is your physical presence? So no, I'm not surprised she's quit again. This isn't groundbreaking news, it's simply confirmation. Angel Reese doesn't want to genuinely play ball, she wants to be famous. And in today's bizarre world, she can probably keep doing that without ever stepping back on the court again. But mark my words, one day the likes will inevitably slow down, the lucrative endorsements will inevitably dry up, and the only thing left will be her actual record. And that, my friends, is not something you can easily filter or cleverly Photoshop your way out of. And that's the brutal part nobody is telling her. Fame without foundation inevitably fades. Caitlyn Clark is living proof of that undeniable truth. She's not chasing the spotlight is relentlessly chasing her because she's putting in the kind of sustained, jaw-dropping effort that unequivocally demands attention. If Reese doesn't want to do the same, if she refuses to commit, that's her choice. But let's finally stop pretending she's something she's demonstrably not. She's not a franchise savior. She's not the face of the league. And she's absolutely not interested in the grueling grind it takes to truly earn those titles. She's merely a personality in search of a platform. And Chicago just found out, the hard way, the exorbitant cost of giving her one. She brazenly refused to travel with the team to Connecticut, openly displaying a complete, undeniable lack of leadership. A complete lack of leadership. Man, Caitlyn Clark has been hurt. She's traveling with the team, supporting them diligently on the bench. You are supposed to be there with your troops, cheering them on, providing that vital energy from the bench, from the sideline, whatever it takes. She's not even traveling with the team, folks. The Sky season will go on, with or without her. And honestly, they might even be better off without the constant distraction, because a team without a true leader can still, remarkably, find one. But a team foolishly built around someone who is not truly invested, someone who is merely a passenger, is doomed from the very start. So here we are, once again, watching the same tired show, with the same predictable ending. Angel Reese has quit again. And the only people genuinely surprised are the ones who stubbornly weren't paying attention the first time. And the wildest part is going to be another team out there, foolishly willing to roll those dice again, hoping for a different outcome. Because in sports, people often delude themselves into thinking they can fix players with flashy resumes and messy reputations. But you can't teach hunger. You can't coach someone into truly wanting it. Either you're built for the relentless grind, or you're simply not.